The Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai, and welcome to beloved Baba's humor session. And as Baba poignantly always said, that come what may, words to effect, God never leaves his humor. So I will begin with reading something, God's Sense of Humor by Balnatu. It was a day for light talk, and it seemed most appropriate that Baba touched on the subject of God's sense of humor. He stated that creation is God's Leela, divine sport, and that it is sustained by his sense of humor. He also explained that the expression of God's humor varies with the scope and range of work that is ordained and accomplished in Advent through the avatar, Sadguru, saints, and musts. In fact, God's sense of humor is so pervasive that there is not a person who is totally devoid of it. Baba began in a humorous vein. Whether I am the avatar or Shaitan, Satan, one thing is certain, that is, I have a great sense of humor. It is my sense of humor that makes me rejoice to see Anna 104 and happy to listen to the irrelevant talk of Baba Das. Anna's type of personality is more than enough to exhaust the patience and forbearance of rishis and munis, saints and sages. Yet I cannot help but humor them both, and going out of my way to keep them near me, both of them have rendered great and unique service to me, and I know that they both love me sincerely. Baba then referred to incidents from the different lives of the avatar that expressed a deep sense of humor. He continued, it is said that once Rasul-e-Khuda, the messenger of God, felt indisposed and someone suggested that was due to an evil eye and that he should sleep on a pillow with an open knife underneath it. He did so and thereafter declared himself to be all right. Call it ordinary or call it divine, it was Muhammad's sense of humor. It is a fact that during the childhood of his grandsons Hassan and Hussein, the Prophet predicted the Muharram Karbala to his daughter Fatima, the mother of the martyrs. The Prophet did not try to avoid or avert the tragedy, and that was only because of God's divine sense of humor in Muhammad. Likewise, the strife between the Kauravas and the Pandavas and the consequent bloodshed was not only due to the divine sense of humor in Krishna, but its height was reached when Krishna himself died through an arrow that accidentally struck one of his legs from the bow of an ordinary hunter who never had any intentions of harming the Rangila, playful avatar in any way. The kind-hearted Jesus knew very well that his nearest disciple would betray him and thus led to his crucifixion. But because of the divine sense of humor, Christ could not help getting himself crucified, although the world rightly continues to look upon him as the savior of humanity. The funniest divine sense of humor was on the part of Buddha, when he simply died of simple dysentery, though his medicine for the spiritual bimaris, illnesses of mankind, holds the field to this day. In short, save for a change in the circumstances, the atmosphere and the surroundings, the same old story goes on repeating again and again, which by itself proves the divine sense of humor. The manifestation of the divine fun, sport, or Leela, however, depends upon the great ones, perfect ones of God, who achieve oneness with God. And thus, in spite of raising themselves above the law of duality, they still retain the divine sense of humor to uphold the universal law of ignorance, through which knowledge divine is achieved for all eternity. Those who were with me at the spot at that time of my car accident in America can alone well describe my own sense of humor as to how thoroughly battered, bruised, and literally helpless and hopeless I was when lying with broken bones in a pool of my own blood, together with my dearest ones. I yet maintained my silence and my consciousness throughout the crisis, and the whole and the long period of convalescence. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Glimpses of the God-Man, Volume 3, page 155 to 157 by Balnadu. So with this beautiful God's sense of humor, we open up the evening for everyone to share some jokes. And again, a little anecdote before we open up the jokes, that from Erach's thing, that Baba used to have one of us read jokes every afternoon. And someone asked why he liked jokes. Baba replied, because the universe is God's biggest joke. So with that, can we open up the evening with the song Leela, Betty? Since we talked about God's Leela in this whole message, we would love to hear the Leela song, and then we open up to jokes. Hi, Irma, Jai Meher Baba. I loved all the jokes you've been sending to Betty. So, Betty, would you unmute and sing for us Leela? And we all can rejoice in God's Leela, the divine play.
Yeah.
And begin with jokes and stories out of your life and a connection with Baba, or Baba's living times itself, or any other jokes and light-hearted stories that you may have. Please,
how about, I'll sing Leela, but how about Always Wrong?
Yes, you could do that, but I just felt that since we repeatedly spoke about Leela right now,
you bet, I'll sing it. Okay, all right.
But feel free to sing Always Wrong, because that's what we are.
Okay, I'll start with Leela. Now Leela's just, yeah, it's the eyes of the baby look at everything from under. The eyes of the young man behold his lady's face with wonder. The eyes of the old man look upon the flowing river. What of those whose eyes are when they leave this world forever? Leela, Leela, this life is just a game. Winners lose and losers win, and the game is still the same. Leela, Leela, this world is just a play. Those who say don't know, and those who know don't say. Where is the one who in his heart can really feel it? Can he feel it in himself, and then can he reveal it? So let us sing to God and clean our hearts of strangers. When mind is gone, the heart is strong, and love remains forever. Leela, Leela, this life is just a game. Winners lose and losers win, and the game is still the same. Leela, Leela, this world is just a play. Those who say don't know, and those who know don't say. How can one accept life who does not accept the dying? How can he achieve his purpose without even trying? How can one have courage who cannot as well be tender? He who wins the game is he who's learning to surrender. Leela, Leela, this life is just a game. Winners lose and losers win, and the game is still the same. Leela, Leela, this world is just a play. Those who say don't know, and those who know don't say. Mayor is the man who in his heart can really feel it. He feels it all within himself, and for us did reveal it. So let us sing aloud and let our hearts be gladder. Sing to God until the masquerade no longer matters. Leela, Leela, this life is just a play. Those who say don't know, and those who know don't say. Leela, Leela, this life is just a game. Winners lose and losers win, and the game is still the same. Jay Bob, that's Leela. And there's Jeff.
Awesome, awesome. Jai Meher Baba. So who would like to begin with some jokes?
I have one, Roshani. It's
Yes.
from Margaret Kraft in Still Dancing with Love. I think it's tremendously funny. It's called Baba told him this story. The milkman, a perfect master, had a wonderful disciple whose time for the realization of God seemed to be not far off. He had, however, one very great difficulty. He would obey his master implicitly, but sometimes not exactly enough, just a little sloppy. One day, the master gave him an order to knock on the door of the master's room promptly at 6 a.m. the next morning. He was, however, late. But at 6 o'clock exactly, the milkman knocked on the door. And as the door opened, it was the milkman who received the overwhelming flood of God realization. You never know.
You never know who gets it.
Right. Or when.
Oh, yes. Hey, Jeff, Jai Baba, lovely to see you.
Jai Baba Roshani, it's wonderful to see you and Betty and Vasily and Tina
Lovely.
and every,
Lovely.
I can't remember your
Lovely to
first.
see each one of you.
Really
It's
wonderful to
been
see
so
you all.
long. So, Irma, would you like to go next? You need to unmute.
Got it. Okay. So, where do cows go on their first date? To the movies.
It's cute.
Okay, here's another cute one. How does a chicken bake a cake? How does a chicken bake a cake? From
Give us a hint.
scratch. From scratch. Okay, all right. You all know this one. What's the difference between an optimist and a pessimist? The pessimist says, things can't get any worse. The optimist says, sure they can. Okay, I've got one more, a little bit longer. I'll save that for later. Happy Baba birthday, Betty. May Baba's
Yeah.
love
Happy birthday,
shine
Betty.
in your heart all year long.
Happy birthday, Betty. Hey, Meher Baba. What a lovely day for this session. Now, isn't that Baba's humor for us to fix it for this day? So that Betty can laugh her heart out. You need to unmute, Betty.
Rosalie, you were talking about Margaret Krask, and I remembered when Merwan Mehta came on talking, he said, you know, who was Norina? You know, Merwan Wadahi. He said that Margaret Krask came up to him and said, you never really liked me, did you?
That's funny. Oh.
If you see the video of his talk, it's he tells that.
It's very funny. Yeah. I heard a joke from Mara on the porch, beloved Mara. And there was a university, a prestigious university, where you could get a bite to eat, but also there was a pedestal where you could expound on your latest intellectual prowess. Well, this very very happy with himself and his intellectual acumen, he got up and he gave his tremendous speech. Surely he's headed for the Nobel Prize. Okay, so he gets down and he says to this Indian man eating soup, he says, "You likey speechy?" to the Indian man. And the Indian man just kind of nodded his head. Well, the Indian man gets up after and in brilliant English, impeccable English, gives his tremendous speech. And he comes back down from the pedestal and he says, "You likey speechy?" I love that one.
That was a Mara joke. Good.
Well, Mara she told it.
Great.
And I was present, and she told it very sweetly. Yeah.
Hey, Ron has his hand up.
Yeah, I wanted to start. I mean, I've got several things to share at some point possibly, but I thought one of the most memorable things that I heard when I was in India 50 years ago, basically, almost to the, right at this time, it was 50 years ago. I was at Marisad and Monty was talking to some people out on the, not inside the hall, but just out on the benches there, and happened to say this particular thing, which I'll tell you very shortly, that stuck with me for years, and I repeated it and repeated it, but I never heard anybody else mention it or see it in a book or anything of the sort. But so I was wondering, did I hear that? Was it true that I actually heard that? Because after 50 years, you start doubting maybe this is something that you actually heard. And it just so happened, not long ago, I saw a recording of Peter, let's see,
Nordine.
Peter Nordine. I'm sorry, yeah. Peter Nordine was giving a talk, and I listened to the whole thing. I found it interesting and enlightening. And right, the very last thing he said was, like Monty would say, there are three keys that Baba gives us for the spiritual path: honesty, humility, and humor.
Yeah.
And so after 50 years, Baba finally gave me a little bit of confirmation that I had heard that right. But I still think that really says quite a bit. And so with that in mind, I'll tell a joke. And this is a story about this man who was headed to Rome on a holiday. And it just so happened that he had heard that the Pope was going to be coming out among the people on the weekend that he was there during that weekend. And he was very excited because he had this kind of fantasy, which may now not be a fantasy. He wanted to see if he could connect with the Pope in some way. And so he decided to go there that day when the Pope was going to be coming among the people. And he had bought a new suit. He got a haircut, shaved. He was put on some nice cologne, and he was he was feeling good about how he looked and all, and he was there among the people. And here comes the Pope, and the Pope is walking toward him, and he's very excited. I mean, wow, he's coming right my way. I mean, there's like thousands of people there, and here's the Pope coming toward me. And so in his excitement, it kind of fizzled away because he walked right past him and didn't even look at him. But so he turned to see where the Pope was going, and he had walked up to this man who was basically sitting on the ground, who was wearing really raggedy looking clothes, hadn't had a haircut and God knows how long. And the Pope actually bent over and spoke to the man. And this blew this guy's mind. I mean, what did he see in this guy? And then it dawned on him that maybe the Pope was more interested in what seemed to be a humble person, somebody who wasn't so concerned with their outer appearance, but really had some type of inner humility and honesty, maybe even humor. But this guy walked up to the man who the Pope had talked to, and he asked him, he said, "Sir, I'm in town for a while. I was wondering if you would be interested in a new suit of clothes. I would be willing to trade you what I have on here. This is a brand new suit for your clothes. We could go back to my hotel room and we could switch clothes. Is that something that might interest you?" He said, "Oh yeah, that would be great. I haven't had a new suit of clothes in a long time." Okay, so they went back there and they swapped out the clothes. The next morning, the man put on the clothes. He didn't shave. He didn't comb his hair, or he looked pretty grubby at that point, as much as he could. And he went to the place where the Pope was going to be coming. And he sat down on the ground. And here comes the Pope. And he's coming his way. And he's thinking, this really worked. I think the Pope's going to come up to me. Oh my God, this is so exciting. So the Pope walks up to this guy, and he bends over, and he gets really close, and he whispers in his ear, "Hey, didn't I tell you not to come around here anymore?"
Good one.
Thank you so much, Ron.
Sure.
Pope Francis would.
Yes, Tina has one.
Yeah, I wanted to say something about the Pope, the present
Yeah,
Pope,
sure.
Pope Francis, because it's connected with the joke. He took the name Francis. It was the first Pope since eons that took that name Francis. And he was, if you know anything about the Catholic organization, he was a Jesuit priest before he became Pope. And the Jesuits, one of their order is buried off of India, off of Goa, St. Francis Xavier. So they says, "Oh, you chose Francis because of St. Francis Xavier." And he said, "No, I chose Francis because of St. Francis of Assisi." So, I mean, if that isn't Baba's humor and, you know, coming into the Advent.
Thank you. Thank you so much. There's one. There is this barber shop, and this kid is running towards it. And the barber tells his client, "You know this kid running in? I will prove it to you in a few minutes how dumb this kid is. Every day he comes, but he's still not learned." So the client says, "Is it so?" I saying, "Yes, you just wait." So the kid comes running, and he says, "Hey, you're there here again." The kid says, "Yes, yes." And he's very excited. So, okay, so today what are you going to choose? And he puts out two hands. one has 2 quarters and one has a dollar bill. And the child very happily and gleefully takes the 2 quarters and runs outside the shop. And the Baba says, see, I told you. Now, who in the right sense would take the 2 quarters and leave the dollar bill? This child just doesn't learn what is more important. So the client says, that's true, So I said, but why don't you tell him? So I said, no, why should I tell him? Are you mad? So he says, okay, and continues with the work. After his appointment gets over, the client is passing by, walking on the pavement. After a few steps, he sees this little child coming out of an ice cream parlor. So he crosses the road, the child crosses the road towards him, and he says, hey, kid, come here, come here. So he says, I was there right now at the barber's where you came. So tell me, why don't you choose that dollar bill and instead keep choosing those 2 quarters? He told me every single day. So the child laughs. He's such a dumb man, sir. If I had to choose the other one, then the game was over. So every day he chooses the 2 quarters, has the ice cream and goes home. Rather than choosing the dollar bill just to keep the barber happy who thinks that he's dumb. And this made me feel how Baba, in one quote, words to effect, says that he keeps allowing us to do certain things, even when we are wrong, and doesn't just stop, and he cannot, what he has ordained already, he cannot do anything about it, in the sense of how God allows us to do all this monkey business, and we feel we are very smart, and he has the last laugh. So, yeah. Tina, would you like to share something?
I would.
Yeah,
I'm
please.
going to sing a song to the tune of Lonely Goatherd.
Oh, yay.
On Seclusion Hill sings a lonely goatherd, ba 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 ba. Loud was the voice of the lonely goatherd, ba 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 ba. In Maribad that was quite remoted, ba 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 ba. Lusty and loud from the goatherd's throated, ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. A girl sang prayers at her nav jotard, ba 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 ba. A man on the road with a load to toted, ba 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 ba. Money telling an anecdote, ba 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 ba. A must who wore 12 overcoats, ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Heather looking for a baba quoted, ba 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 ba. Mara mending her petticoated, ba 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 ba. She yodeled back to the lonely goatherd, ba 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 ba. He answered her, yes, I'm a devoted, ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Soon all the folks in the valley were motored, ba 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 ba, and his name echoed from their throats, ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba, ba ba ba. Jai Baba.
Wonderful. Jai Baba, Tina. Always such a delight to hear your beautiful songs, especially these humorous ones. Thank you so much. Ralph, so who next has some joke or story from Baba's life?
I have a story, but it's not exactly from Baba's life, unless we remember that everything is from Baba's life, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So a number of years ago, my husband Carl and I had a totally lovable little black cat named Sushi. We also had a large chinchilla hare named Wiggy.
And Wiggy loved sushi. She was not so sure. But anyway, one afternoon, this is when we lived in Tucson, one afternoon, I was brushing Wiggy on the back patio. Sushi was sunning herself in the backyard, and a mockingbird, noticing Sushi, was warning, "Buck, chip, 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 chip," warning that there's a cat there, right? So all of a sudden, Wiggy becomes aware that there's a warning sign. He hops down from the patio wall and hops over to where Sushi is, starts thumping, warning her that there is a danger, not aware that she herself is the danger.
Jai Baba. Jeff, Ralph, Diane. Yes, Tina, you have something else as well?
Jay Baba.
Yes, Ralph, please go ahead.
I have another old story that I heard at Marathon. A different perspective on the same thing as Irma's story. So a little baby chick fell out of the nest to the ground, but he landed in a soft, fresh, there he was in that poop. It was quite warm. And he said, "This isn't too bad." But then after a while, he began to feel uneasy. He didn't see his mother. He wasn't getting anything to eat. It was getting cool. And he got concerned. He started chirping. And he chirped and chirped for help. And a cat heard him. And the cat came and plucked him out of the pile, but the cat also ate the little chick. And so the supposed moral to this story is when we're up to our neck in poop, we should not chirp about it.
Good one. Good one.
Yeah.
That's why Baba's here to fix. We're all up to our neck in poop.
But that goes the compliment of Irma's version versus this one is very interesting. Yeah, Jay Baba.
My calling card from Baba was a "Don't worry, be happy" card. So that's all I needed to hear, because I thought you had to worry before that or things will be worse. So this Advent brings great humor because we're in for great changes. It's just begun. It's just begun. Manifestation is happening. Yeah. And Baba entering the new life said, "I lost everything in the new life. Thank God I didn't lose my sense of humor." Baba's words.
True.
I have a Cole Porter song I want to offer up. It's kind of lighthearted, but very meaningful to me. And I think it might be for you as well. It's called Experiment. Okay, I'm not muted. Okay.
Please go ahead.
Before you leave these portals to meet with less fortunate mortals, there's just one final message I would give to you. We all have learned reliance on the sacred teachings of science. So I hope through life You never will decline in spite of Philistine defiance to do what all good scientists do. Experiment. Make it your motto day and night. Experiment, and it will lead you to the light. The apple on the top of the tree is never too high to achieve. So take an example from Eve. Experiment. Be curious, though interfering friends may frown. Get furious at each attempt to hold you down. If this advice you'll always employ, this advice you'll always employ, the future can offer you infinite joy and merriment. Experiment and you'll see. Jayba.
Very nice.
We have Havovi Auntie. Havovi Auntie, do you have any humorous story that you would like to share from your life connected with Baba, or any story from Baba? You need to unmute. Unmute.
Can you unmute?
Unmute, Havovi.
You have to
You need to unmute.
turn on your microphone.
Havovi Auntie. Haji.
Avovi.
Jai Baba Havovi.
Lovely time we had with you, and Noza brought us to your home. Yeah. Jai Baba Betty. All familiar, beautiful, familiar faces. Jai Baba. I've just finished eating, and I'll join in, but not with something humorous, but something, maybe an incident. Will that do?
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Sure.
So here, so I'm going off and I'm listening to the other people. Okay, thank you. Just enjoying my sandwich. Thank you, Roshani, for putting me on.
Jacko's number.
Right.
I want to call Jacko.
Okay.
Hey,
So
Yeah.
let me read.
I can.
Are you sharing the story right now or later on, Havovi Auntie?
later on, please. I'm
Okay.
monitoring this.
All right.
Another 10 minutes now. Yeah.
Okay. So I will till then share my favorite story from
Sure.
Lord Mayor. In addition, during the month of August 1922, Baba often remarked that Upasni Maharaj would come to the manzil and give darshan, and that the mandali should be prepared for his arrival, although he never did show up. For relaxation, Baba would go to Munshiji's house to play cards. Once while playing cards at Munshiji's, he quietly stole a card from Ramju, and as a result, his side won. In the middle of the next game, Ghani did likewise, but this time Ramju saw it. He complained to Baba, who rebuked Ghani for cheating. Ghani for some time bitterly thought, Meher himself pilfers cards and then rebukes me for doing the same. After a while longer, Baba stopped the game and told the men a true story of a perfect master. One day, a Sadguru went with some of his disciples to a city where he was known. He approached a candy shop and entering put some sweets in his mouth. His disciples too mimicked him in this respect. He then visited a bakery and there also the same thing happened. He picked up some cookies and put them into his mouth, and his disciples did the same. Then he went to a blacksmith's shop where there were red hot pieces of iron in the furnace. The master picked up one of the pieces and ate it. His disciples stared at him. The Sadguru then said, "Now eat this too." Not one dared move, and the master admonished, "Why did you do as I did? Are you parrots? Never do as I do, but do as I say." After hearing this tale, Ghani burst out laughing, and Baba asked the reason. He replied, "I bow down to your knowledge. You have answered my questions superbly. Jai Meher Baba.
Very nice.
And this, I feel all of us would face so many times. Baba did this. So, oh, Baba
You
also
will.
did this. And this story keeps me in check, if at all any such incident represents itself, to remind to do as Baba says and not do as he does. So, Jai Meher Baba. Yes, Jeff.
What you just shared, Shani, reminds me of a story I heard many years ago in California at Mount Shasta. And it's a little bit of a twist of what you said, but I think it's quite a beautiful story. It's not humorous, but it's related to your story. So the disciple comes to the master, and the master gives him the name of God, gives him the mantra. And he says, do not share this with anyone. This is just for you. And it will give you the love, the freedom, the liberation, and more. But don't share with anyone. It is precious beyond precious. And so the disciple goes his master, and he immediately goes into Delhi, and he finds the tallest pole with the flag of the country. And he climbs up to the top of the pole, and he begins to sing Ram, 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 Ram. And he's singing it with the ecstasy of the love of God, of the love of Baba. And 10 people come around the pole, and another 10, and another 10. And within a half an hour, there are hundreds of people, and they're all saying Ram, 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 with such love. And this was going on for hours and hours, and he gets finally very tired of supporting himself up on the pole, and his heart is all sung, and he's very tired, and he gets down the pole, and some people do help him the last 15 feet, and they embrace him, and he quietly walks away, and he sees his master the next day, and the master looks at him, and the master, of course, knows what he did, and the disciple goes down to the master. He says what he did, disobeying the master. And the master bows down to him, and he said, job well done. You did exactly what was the right thing to do. And I always remember that beautiful story of saying the name of Ram. The disciple this one time disobeying his master. Ram Ram.
Jai Ram.
Jai Ram.
As in India, they say Jai Shri Ram. Today was a
Jai
beautiful
Jai
thing
Ram, Jai Ram.
in Hindi couplet, like how you have it's called a shairi. So there was this beautiful one that I heard today morning at an event, and it went that you cannot do so when people greet each other, they say Ram Ram. You know, you do this and you say Ram Ram. They say you cannot do Ram Ram with one hand, and neither can you call upon Allah with one hand. And whether it is Ram or whether it is Allah, when you fold the hands, it is Ram Ram. When you lift the hands, it is Allah.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
in Hindi, it was really, really beautiful, the way it's synchronized with the words in Urdu of how time and again God keeps on telling us that He is the Ancient One. He is the one again and again coming amidst us, and the wars that we wage in His name. And so there is another similar beautiful one of Diwali, that in Diwali there is Ali, because Diwali is spelled like Diwali, and Ali is Allah as a synonym. And so in Diwali, there is Ali, and in Ramzan, there is Ram. And yet we are so drifted apart. So such beautiful ways that beloved Baba as God, as the avatar, has kept on trying to drill something into us for lifetimes and lifetimes, and advent after advent. And again, all his Leela, everything that he does, it's unfathomable for us to know why he does what he does. And we leave it to that and try to enjoy this moment with some more jokes. So Irma, do you want to share something? I see your hand up, and then Betty.
Yes, I have a song actually. 2 weeks ago was my 80th birthday. And
Congratulations.
I
Jai
don't
Baba.
know if you can read this or not, but I devised this. We all sang to Baba. May hair, give me your answer true. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. We won't have a stylish marriage. We don't even need a carriage. But you look sweet upon the seat of the throne that was meant just for you.
Beautiful.
We're all,
Great.
Bravo.
20 some of us, and we're all singing to pictures of Baba. We're singing to Baba.
Did you write that song, Irma?
Well, I changed it. You know, we all know the song.
Right.
Yeah.
For Baba, yes.
Great Baba. Yeah. Very nice.
60 years old. That's a milestone. Good for
Isn't
you.
it? That's why I had a big bash. It's the last time I'll do that.
Rosalie too, right? You're in you were 80 this time.
I'm 0.08 years old. That's why I lost my teeth. That's what happens when you're 8 years old.
And Betty,
I-
how young are you today?
78. I'm just a kid. 78.
Emily Dickinson says, we grow not older through the years, but newer every day. And I would say with Baba, that's how we're growing newer. Right, Havovi? Newer every day.
You'll have a lot of
So
you.
I always say that there's a part of me that is forever 7. And a part of me that is forever, okay, the 7-year-old likes the goofy jokes. Part of me is forever 12. She likes to roller skate. Part of me is forever ancient. Ancient, just like you guys.
What a funny story is it's this book, Nectar for Children, and it's the repentant cobra. I remember Bao used to call it cobra, cobra, cobra. And they're all stories that Baba told them. The book is beautiful. The story is funny, if you've not heard. I can read it but I'll tell you what page it's on, so you can go yourself in this beautiful book, Nectar for the Children. This is the mischievous picture of the mischievous chicken beginning. Do you want to hear this story or what? About Roshani, where are you?
She's
gone.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Do you want to hear the repentant cobra? Cobra.
Yes.
It's a great story. This is a picture. Maybe you should frame me so you can see it. The artwork is great. That's the cobra.
Ooh.
I'll tell you a story which beloved Baba had told me. This is Bao Kalchuri speaking. In ancient times, there was a village in India surrounded by sugarcane fields on all sides. Only a small footpath led into town to buy things. A cobra lived in the field, And he was so clever that he could strike without warning from any direction. He would bite a villager, then slither away. Many people died because of his bite, and all the villagers were scared. They started going out in groups, armed with sticks and spears, to kill the cobra, but they never got the opportunity. Yet, even as people were dying because of his bite, the cobra himself was repenting. Then what happened? One day, a perfect master was coming along the footpath. All of a sudden, the cobra thought, because of my bite, many people have died. I am a great sinner. Why not go to the perfect master and ask his forgiveness to make me free from my sins? The cobra approached the perfect master and said, Master, I am a sinner. So many people in the village have died because of my bite. But now I am repenting and repenting. Master, forgive me. I am the worst sinner, but you are a perfect master. You can make me free from all the sins. And the master said to him, I will forgive you for all your sins, provided you stop biting people. I give you my promise, says the cobra. I will not bite anymore. Master, please forgive me. But when I go away, then again, the master said, you are telling me that you will not bite anyone? But when I go away, then again you will start biting the villagers. So I will wait for 15 days and see whether you have stopped biting or not. If I find you have stopped biting, then after 15 days, I will forgive you and make you free from all your sins. The cobra accepted. He went some distance away from the footpath and remained there, not biting anyone. And the perfect master left. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days passed. The cobra had not bitten anyone. The villagers were amazed to discover that the cobra had vanished. Somebody suggested, do not think that the cobra has disappeared. He must be sick. Because of that, he does not come and bite us. We must search until we find him, and we must throw all our stones at him. Then we will run away as fast as we can. But be careful, that cobra might still come and bite us. So we must kill him first. The villagers liked this suggestion very much, and they each took up a stone in their hand. Armed with stones, the villagers went out along the footpath. After a certain distance, they found the cobra lying on the ground. Yes, he is sick, one of the villagers said. But now be alert. Everyone throw your stones and immediately run away. Otherwise, he will bite us. The villagers threw their stones at the cobra, and then they all ran away. The cobra was terribly wounded. He was suffering and suffering. On the 15th day, the perfect master came. He searched for the cobra until he discovered him. How did this happen that you are wounded and suffering so much? Master, you asked me not to bite anymore, replied the cobra. Then they came and threw stones at me. Now I am very wounded. You fool, the perfect master said. I asked you not to bite anyone, but did I ask you not to hiss? Had you hissed at them, they would have run away. That's the cobra story. But as Bao used to say, cobra, cobra. I love that story.
Jai Meher Baba. Thank you very much. Such a big lesson in that as well.
And
Thank
the
you,
book
Roshani.
it has all.
It's a beautiful book.
Miss Chicken. I mean, it's a
Yes.
great book with tremendous artwork.
Yes.
Roshani, I have a little picture of Bauji, the author, with
Yes. Please.
there he is. You see, he's there you go. That's our Bauji.
He's the only Mandli that I met. And he'll forever be cherished for all the time that I shared with him. And
Yeah.
of course, for his biggest gift of the name. But yes.
Oh, that's right. He gave you Roshani. Yeah. Is there a story there?
Oh, that's a long story.
Very beautiful.
Ah.
That was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yes. But the little ending part of that story was that everything finished and I got the name. And then there was this time where they would give a little break in the internet chat where Bauji would be given his medicines and all. And then after that, anybody who wants to sit around can still hang around and, the chat would continue. The ones who wanted to leave could leave. So that was the time when I had taken the first bus of people, about 18 of us to Mehrabad. And I insisted to Mehrnath that we wanted to buy books because next day we were leaving. It was a Sunday. Sunday, Meher Nazar bookstore used to be shut. The accountant person would not come. And Mehrnath was requested that please can you open up so that my friends and everybody can buy some books and take back something. So he went and he very kindly got the keys and opened up this was the time when the store was still in the trust area, the trust office, next to Bhauji's chat room. So we went there and everybody was buying, and I kept on promising in my head that every time I buy and I take some thousands of worth books back, I said, no, I have all the books. I'm not going to buy anything. I'm not going to buy anything. And while I keep saying this in the head, I keep getting this thing about a blue book. And I feel, no, I have most of Baba's books. There's no blue book. I've never seen a blue book, kind of a thing. But it was so strong in my head that there's a blue book, there's a blue book. So I kept on looking around on the shelves. It is a very small corner space that was there for the store. I couldn't see any blue book. And then while my friends were standing in the line paying up to Mehrnath who was, making the bills for everybody's purchase, I just asked one of the tallest guys in the group. I said, Abhishek, can you just see up on the top shelves if there is any blue book? So he said, okay. So he started going around and, looking at it. And then he suddenly says, yeah, there is something, but they are flat. So they were not kept upright. They're saying, yeah, there is some books that are there in that corner above other books. So I said, okay, take it down. So he took them down and there were 4 in a set kind of a thing, just 4 books left. And below it was another book of Baba, a big book. And when he took it out, that book was named Meher Roshani, which is Bhauji's ghazals for Baba. And I had never seen that book in those 2.5, 3 years that I'd been going. So I asked Mehrnath I said, wow, what is this book? And he said, oh, this is a book that Pauji has, you know, the ghazals are there. And it is in English, translated in English, the ghazals. And it was not in publication for quite some time. And the set has just come a week back.
Wow.
So it was Baba's humor, Baba's love, everything put together. So I bought off all those 4 copies that were there and got them home. And then on one, Bauji couldn't sign or anything, but I did give him a little pen in the hand and he just, you know, did some little scribbles. And then I got the book home. So yes, it was beautiful to know that.
What does Roshani mean?
Sorry?
What does it mean, Roshani? What does it mean?
It means light in Hindi.
Beautiful, beautiful. Ah,
Yes. So
I can sing a song.
let's read. Yeah, okay, all right. I'll read after that.
This
Please.
is by Mark Riney, Always Wrong. Oops, I'll turn my heater off.
Another of my favorites.
Always wrong, always wrong. From the get-go to the late show, every day and all night long, always wrong. I'm always wrong. Every breath and every brainwave, every note of my little song, always wrong. I'm always wrong. Almost, but not quite, always seems to be my plight. It's kind of hard to be finite, but I'm yours, so I'm all right. Always wrong, always wrong. From the get-go to the late show, every day and all night long, always wrong. I'm always wrong. Every breath and every brainwave, every note of my little song, always wrong. I'm always wrong. I always do my best, never fail to make a mess. You put the burden on your chest and never love me any less. Always wrong, always wrong. From the get-go to the late show, every day and all night long, always wrong. I'm always wrong. Every breath and every brainwave, every note of my little song, always wrong. I'm always wrong. Lord, I wonder where your bliss went on the day you made myself. Though it's nice that I'm consistent, I wish it was something else. Always wrong, always wrong. From the get-go to the late show, every day and all night long, always wrong. I'm always wrong. Every breath and every brainwave, every note of my little song, always wrong. I'm always wrong. That's Mark Riney.
Jai Meher Baba. So on the songs as we are, so on 27th night, I got these words while I was just after prayers, I was sitting and chatting with Baba in my head. And I got this whereby there was some conversation on this pretext of how we don't choose him and he chooses us. And when Baba says that unless I want it, even my name cannot fall onto anybody's ears, words to effect. So based on that, this song came over of I didn't choose him, he chose us. And I wrote the chorus and some of, you know, the words that flowed. The next day was our monthly satsang on 28th. And in the evening when everybody gathered, you know, and there was no tune. So I just put the words, whatever came at 3:30 in the morning and left it at that. Then at the satsang, some conversation comes up and another person who has first time come to our satsang brings up this topic of how he has known about Baba from 2012, came to know. But until last year, he couldn't go to Mehrabad for all these 10 years. And that he realized that how only one can go when Baba chooses us. And then I got this little pin in my bum. I have to sing this song about I didn't choose him, he chose us. And I said, oh, there's no tune. So while this man is talking, I'm talking in my head, oh, but Baba, there's no tune. I'll just read it out, kind of, a narrative or a poem. And we have this lovely Baba lover who plays the duff like the Iranis do. That's called the duff, the big round thing. So I just started off and it just took on a tune. And this person next to me, Tushar Bhai, he doesn't even know the song. Nobody knows the song. And he just started playing the duff alongside. And it just became as if it was a well-planned, well-rehearsed song. And his humor and compassion just struck me like nobody's business that day. And I would like to share that recording, which is there. Just give me a second. To the audio. Sharing the audio.
अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय। सो ये गाना है कल 28 रात को, मतलब 3:30 बजे करीबन बाबा ने गाने के शब्द दिए। द टाइटल इज़ आई डिडंट चूज हिम, ही चोज अस। जैसे बाबा हम सबको चुनते हैं और जब हमारा वक्त आता है तब हमको उनके पास बुलाते हैं। जय बाबा। In the shadows of my doubt, lost in the world I roamed about, but in His grace I found my way. He chose me when I heard Him say, I didn't choose him, he chose us. In his love we put our trust. From darkness into the light, he guides us through the darkest night. Oh, Meher, His love's a beacon strong and true. Oh, Meher, in His embrace I am born anew. Oh, Meher, with open arms He welcomes me. Oh, Meher says I'm chosen and forever free. Say, I didn't choose him, he chose us. In his love we put our trust. From darkness into the light, he guides us through the darkest night. His mercy flows like gentle streams, saving us from our toxic dreams. With arms wide open, he calls our names. In his embrace, we are never the same. I didn't choose him, he chose us. In his love, we put our trust. From darkness into the light, he guides us through the darkest night. Oh, Meher, his love's a beacon strong and true. Oh, Meher, in his embrace I'm born anew. Oh, Meher, with open arms he welcomes me. Oh, Meher says I'm chosen forever free. So say I didn't choose him, he chose us. In his love trust from the darkness into the light. He guides us through the darkest night. When life's burdens make it to waver, He's always there as a constant prayer. In His love we find our strength, no matter the journey, no matter the length. In this song of grace and endless love, we lift our hearts to the one above. For in His choice we find our way. He chose us, and forever we'll stay. So everyone say, I've been chosen, He chose us. In His love we put our trust. From darkness into the light, He guides us through the darkest night. Oh, hey, His love's a beacon, strong and true. Oh, man, in His embrace I'm born anew. Oh, man, with open arms He welcomes me. Oh, man, says I'm chosen and forever free. So I say, I've been chosen, He chose us. In His love we put our trust. From darkness into the light, He guides us through the darkest night. Oh man, your love's a beacon, strong and true. Oh man, your embrace I'm born anew. Oh man, with your open arms you welcome me. Oh man, you chose me, so I am forever free. You chose me and made me forever free. अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय.
Jai Meher Baba.
Oh,
Thank you for listening.
Rosalie had a hand up. You know, with raising your hand, the new Zoom, it takes it down after a few seconds. So you think your hand's up. You have to check and put it back up again. It doesn't, so.
If you do the reaction hand up, then it goes down after some time. But if you do the raise hand, then it'll stay.
No, the raise hand goes down. It
Yeah?
says it looks like you
Oh.
haven't talked in anyway. Your hand down.
Rosalind, would you like to share?
Muted, Rosalie. You're muted.
What am I sharing?
Oh, did you want? I thought you had your hand up. No.
I couldn't take it down, but
All right.
This Advent, Baba, the humor in his words, I'll mention a few. And what he said in the blue bus time, he said, this blue bus is the same as the chariot of Krishna. And after my manifestation, people will worship it. And he also said that I cannot rest unless I work. When I work, that is my rest. My work is in restlessness. They were like, I mean,
how beautiful. Rosalind, could you write that in the chat? This line, the last part, the work and the rest part.
Yeah, I'll put restlessness in there.
Lovely. Irma, yes. You need to unmute.
I have one last joke, Okay. A lawyer named Strange died, and his wife asked that the grave builder to inscribe on his grave, "Here lies Strange, an honest man and a lawyer." The grave builder insisted that such an inscription would be confusing, and people would think that there were 3 men buried under this grave. However, he suggested an alternative. "Here lies a man who was both honest and a lawyer." That way, whenever anyone walked by the grave and read it, they would be certain to remark, "That's strange." That's it.
I want to read a couple of jokes as well. These are little short jokes. The teacher said to the class one day, "Please stand up, anyone who thinks they're stupid." Nobody stood up. So the teacher said, "I'm sure there are some stupid students in this class." At this point, little Johnny stood up. The teacher said, "Oh, Johnny, so you think you're stupid then?"
Can you recognize the word?
Little Johnny replied, "No, I just felt bad that you were the only one standing up."
Good one, Ron.
Yeah. All right. So here's a, you can unmute for this one. A woman goes into her lawyer's office requesting a divorce. He is taking all of her background information and asks her, "Do you have grounds for a divorce?" To which she replies, "Well, we have 3 acres." "No, man. What I mean is, does he beat you up?" asks the attorney. "No, I get up around 6:30 and he sleeps until 7, she responds. Feeling a little frustrated, the attorney asks, "Lady, tell me, do you have a grudge?" Looking very confident, she states, "No, we have a carport." At this point, the lawyer has lost his patience and asks, "Look, lady, why the hell do you want a divorce?" She says, "Because he can't hold an intelligent conversation."
I'll share one.
Okay.
A man is flying in a hot air balloon and realizes, sorry, 1 second. A man is flying in a hot air balloon and he realizes that he's lost. So he reduces the height and spots this man down below, and he lowers the balloon further and shouts out, "Hey, excuse me, can you tell me where I am?" So the man below looks up and says, "You are in a hot air balloon, flying, hovering 30 feet above, and this is a field." So the guy in the balloon says, "Ah, thank you. You must be an engineer." So the guy down says, "Wow, how did you know that?" So the guy says, "Ah, well, everything you told me is technically correct, but makes no use to anyone." So the man below says, "Ah, I see. You must be from top management." So the guy in the balloon says, "I am. Gosh, how did you know that?" So the man down says, "Well, you know, you don't know where you are or where you are going, but you expect me to be able to help you. You are in the same position that you were a few minutes back before you met me, but now the fault is mine." Jai Baba.
Roshani, I tried to put that quote of "I cannot rest unless I work," and it says you're not in this meeting is what it tells me. So it's
You are not in this?
I put
In
it
the
in the
chat.
chat, but it would not take it under your name. So I don't know.
No, not on my name. Just put it to everyone.
Well,
don't-
I don't see everyone listed. How to do that?
I'll do
Okay.
that.
So where you see a blue button, you see a blue button.
I have no blue button on my iPad.
I'll do it. You got.
So I'm in
Okay.
chat.
Okay, Betty is doing that.
Yeah.
It is. I got it right here. I've written out. Okay. But
Okay.
first,
Okay.
a joke or some jokes. I have some jokes from Will Rogers, who met Bob.
Okay. Good.
Will Rogers, the actor, spent half an hour with Baba. Actually, he met him at there. Yeah. And I think Baba invited him, or he said he'd like to come to India, and they had that, that was going to happen. But Will actually was killed in a plane crash before that could happen. But he did spend a good half hour with Baba, which Baba commented. It's in Lord Mayfair. He was at Pick Fair and also at the Paramount Theater. Excuse me. I'll turn off my heater here. Okay, so here are some jokes from Will Rogers. I always tell this one. You may have heard it. Long ago, when men cursed and beat the ground with sticks, it was called witchcraft. Today, it's called golf. Okay, here are a few more from him. The older is about growing older. The older we get, the fewer things seem worth waiting in line for. And when you are dissatisfied and would like to go back to youth, think of algebra. You know when you're getting old, when everything either dries up or leaks. One of the many things no one tells you about aging is that it's such a nice change from being young. One must wait until evening to see how splendid the day has been. It's beautiful, but being old is comfortable and relaxed. And if you don't learn to laugh at trouble, you won't have anything to laugh at when you're old.
And in this Advent, notice that doctor in India started laughing classes.
Oh.
Now, if that isn't Baba's work and humor, I mean, really. And we have one person, Patma, and she gives twice a week, she's giving a laugh session where you practice laughing so you remember how to do it.
Hey, Betty, as regards the golf comment, it reminds me that there was this psychiatrist who said it was very typical for him to give one or two different prescriptions to his clients. One was to take up golf, and the other prescription was to give up golf.
There is one more based on how Baba had said the story about this man calling out one perfect master after the other, and how all perfect masters were confused as to who has to go and help him. So this joke is about a guy who falls off the cliff and is shouting, "Hey, anybody there? Please help, please help." And this heavenly voice falls upon his ears and says, "Yes, my son, I can help you." And says, "Hey, who's there? Who's there? Please pull me up, pull me up." Say, "Yes, but first you have to have faith in me." And say, "Yes, yes, I'll do anything that you say. I have complete faith in you. Please pull me up." And so the heavenly voice says, "Leave the rope." And there is a pause. And after the pause, the man shouts again, "Hey, anybody else up there besides this loony man?"
Oh, that's good.
So yeah. Havovi auntie, now do you want to share your story?
I must share this. Baba said, the amusing things that happen at the expense of none lighten my burden. Meher Baba.
Jai Baba. How beautiful. How beautiful.
Avovi, you need to unmute.
Havovi auntie, unmute. Betty, could you make me the host, or we can send her the
I'm unmuted.
there she
Can you-
is. Okay. Yes, I got
There.
shut off. My laptop shut down.
Daddy,
So-
how much time do I have? Because it's just a story, and just now it's for humor. It's just
Okay,
a
please
humor
share.
Yeah,
session.
sometime. We
So you like to hear it, otherwise leave it for another day when the subject is not humor, because this is nothing to do with humor. So what do you say? And I'll need maybe 10 minutes for it. Is that good?
You have all eternity to share. Go ahead.
Carry on.
We aren't with you.
Humorous?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
great.
So should I shoot?
Yes.
May
Shoot.
Okay.
Yes,
All
yes.
right.
Yeah.
No, I was wanting to speak about this compassion. You know, when I'm a Zoroastrian, that you know, and all Zoroastrian children between the ages of maybe 6 to 10 have their, depending, have their Navjot ceremony. Now, my children, my son, Dayoman, and my daughter, Meheru, were turning 10 and 7.5. And the Navjot, we thought that usually the May vacation for our children is in May. So we were saying, we'd asked Arnavas and Nariman, our brother and sister, they're more like parents to us. So Arnavas and Nariman would often visit Baba at Merazan. So we requested Arnavas, asked Baba that in May 69, we would like the children's Navjot, because that's the time the children have a long 1.5 month vacation. So Baba said Kabul. Kabul means sure thing. It's like, gesture. Arnavas gestured that. Kabul. Sure thing. But not in May 69 as we requested, but on Mera's birthday on 22nd December 68. So that was hardly 2 months. This happened, I think, in October, and this was December. In 2 months to get, and he would like all the work, the children's fancy outfits and our clothes and saris, and etc. So we said, only 2 months left. But of course, we were very happy. And what did Baba say? Baba said, any more small children that age? Now, my son, Rayuman, was turning 10 in 4th December. So this is, and my daughter was 7.5. So Baba said, any small children that age? So of course, there were 2 more small children. Dolly, all of you know Dolly, our famous Dolly, darling Dolly. So Dolly's these, sister's daughter, Shenazz, who's just now so, active in looking after Jal's health. So she was the same age as my Meruk. Meruk was 18 days when he put her in Baba's lap, and she was 9 days old. She was 8 days apart. So we said, all right, Shenazz is the same age. And then Arnavaz's brother, you all probably know Noza Dadachanji, because you know him very well. So Noza was even a year younger than Meruk and Shenazz. So we said 4 children. So we got all the 4 children ready. It was a grand thing. First, on that day, 22nd December, Mera's birthday, Amrit Dara's engagement, and the 4 children were blessed with getting the Sadra and Kasti, which is a symbol of the Russian faith, and handed over by Baba, though he was in indifferent health. That was like a very, very loving and kind gesture on his part, like a gift of grace to us. Otherwise, May, next year, May would have been nothing. So all these 4 children were blessed by Baba. It's a very simple, usually you have to go through, because we were preparing my son and daughter to go to the Dasturji, means the local priest, and learn how to say the Avastha prayer. Avastha is the holy book. And Rayoman would go absconding. Every time the Dasturji would catch him, he would run away. He didn't go beyond the first line. But Meru was very, very conscientious, and she learned the prayer. So none of that was needed. Baba gave them a very simple prayer. Manashni, Gavashni, Kunashni, Pak, Dada, Ahura Mazda, beyond God, that's Ahura Mazda, Ashur Jatho, the Zoroaster, Avtar Nirvana. Simple as that, and a very beautiful message. I don't have it offhand, but I could always send it to Roshani and she could share with you. So that was the beautiful parting gift Baba gave us, otherwise it would have been different. So 4 lucky children were blessed by Baba. It's got nothing to do with humor, that's his compassion. Jai Baba.
Beautiful. Thank you, Havavi auntie.
Yeah, I just thought it's more in the books, and I just thought I'll share that because it's nothing to do with humor. It's because his humor was when he made me feed Mastan a raw Indian egg. But that's another story altogether.
Please tell us that story.
Huh?
Please tell us that story.
What? Of Mastan?
Yes, of the eggs and Mastan.
You know, you probably heard it, right?
Tell us, tell us.
Yeah, okay. So this is another Mera's birthday. You know, we were very fortunate to be there every time for 22nd December for Mera's birthday. And so this was one of the, I don't know how many years before Baba passed. But anyway, it was Mera's birthday. And because we were all invited to the lovely feast and, you know, the vegetarian food that they cooked so yummy. So I had my nice fill of all the beautiful spread, lunch spread that we had with Mera. And then when I went to wash my hands at the basin, I heard people say, give Habovi a raw egg. I said, God, such a lovely feast. And now, and I've run a mile from raw or boiled egg. Other eggs I love. So I said, raw egg. But then that time, Baba inquired about my health because I had lots of health problems in my stomach. So some problems with my diarrhea and whatever these tips that with decencies and whatever. So Baba had asked, yeah, you're very weak. What are you taking? You know, inquired about my health. So I said, maybe because of the raw egg is because, you know, till you of the stomach problems that I'm having because I'm looking so weak and all that. But worse was to come. Till today, unfortunately, which I should really overcome, but I still haven't been able to overcome. Baba knows best. Maybe he wanted me to connect with Matpan or whatever. So here, I go near the basin and people say, Habovi ne, in Gujarati, Habovi ne kachu idu up. Kachu means raw. Habovi ne kachu idu, and everybody, and I'm petrified. I said, and the worst was to come. I thought I could eat it or swallow it. But worse, Baba's order, I will swallow it. But they brought Mastan. Nehru brought Mastan on a leash. Huge big Mastan. And frightened me. And this whole big plate with one small, you know, Indian eggs are even smaller than the usual eggs that we get in the market. So this small little egg is lying in one corner. And here, I had to put the plate forward and say, Mastan. And I said, small egg, he can devour in a minute. And I said, the next best thing would be my hand holding the plate. He was so well behaved. He ate the egg, he walked away. So this is my Mastan story. So I must have some connection with Mastan. But you know, when we used to go and visit Baba, would send Mastan was a very, very special dog. Mera would bring, he'd sit in the hall, and Mera would bring Mastan on a leash, and everybody had to do Mastan kids like this, you know, to Mastan. So I mean, Mastan was very, very special. So I should be honored that I had to feed Mastan. But at the moment, I was petrified. But anyway, that's my little Mastan story. Jai Baba. Done?
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Jai Baba. Lovely.
Rather,
So, is there any other story that anybody would like to share? We could have one or two stories before closing.
why don't you sing that song which I love that you always sing at the Samadhi? You want to do that? End with that?
Ah, okay. Baba Tero Naam. Okay. We can go in any other story or anything. We'll read this one last then story about Bhauji. It is the You Fool story from Lord Meher. According to Baba's order, Bhau Kalchuri came to Dehradun to stay with him permanently on Wednesday, 8th July 1953. Baba explained to him, the first order I am giving you is to visit the rooms of the Mandali every night and say loudly, you fools, keep silence after 9 o'clock. Baba added, "This is only the beginning for you." Bhau was a newcomer, the youngest of the Mandli at 27, and some of the older members had been with Baba since 1920s. Soon after sunset, Bhau became very nervous and twice had to go to the toilet. At last, it was 9 p.m. and he started out on his sadhana. He went to every room and hesitantly, did as Baba ordered. Nothing happened by his repeating the statement. All the men thought it was a joke and enjoyed it. Just a second.
Yeah.
1 second. Bhau was a newcomer, the youngest of the Mandli at 27, and some of the older members had been with Baba since the 1920s. Soon after sunset, Bhau became very nervous and twice had to go to the toilet. At last, it was 9 p.m. and he started out on his sadhana. He went to every room and hesitantly did as Baba ordered. Nothing happened by his repeating the statement. All the men thought it was a joke and enjoyed it, though they did not know it was Baba's order. But when he came to Kekobad's room, Bhau saw that Kekobad was silently praying. Bhau opened the door and shouted, "You fool, keep silence after 9 o'clock." Kekobad turned to Bhau with a mingled look of surprise and anger. But his duty being over, Bhau hurriedly slipped away. The next day, Kekobad told Vishnu, "This Bhau is an absolutely rude chap. Last night, when I was praying in my room, he quietly opened my door, came in, and said, 'You fool, keep silence after 9 o'clock.' I was, of course, already silent." "He said the same thing to me," said Vishnu. "He is new, and we should forget about it." "He has a master's degree," Kekobad continued, "but still is quite a fool, and he has no manners." The second night also, Bhau repeated Baba's order, again disturbing Kekobad in his prayer. What could Bhau do? It was his act of prayer, and he had to do it. Kekobad, though, again complained to Baba, who withdrew the order. Meanwhile, Bhau was assigned the duties of handling Hindi correspondence, night watch for a few days, looking after Isa, the troublesome sweeper's son, and most importantly, attending to Nanga Mast. 4 days after Bhau's arrival in Dehradun, the must of Najbabad, whom Baba had contacted in March, walked more than 62 miles to Dehradun. Seeing him on the road, Elcha informed Baba he was about a mile away, and Baba sent a car to bring him. When he was brought, Baba ordered Bhau, "Serve this must, attend to his wants and look after him well." Bhau had never seen a must before, and he was not quite sure what Baba saw in him. All Bhau could see was a man completely naked with thick matted hair, covered from head to foot with years of dirt from never washing. After bathing Nanga Mast, Baba showed Bhau the room where the must was to be kept. The must was made to lie down on a bed, and provision for his toilet was made. He was like a majzoom, mostly unconscious of his body, though he was often seen wandering about. After instructing Bhau, Baba returned to his bungalow. Going to his room, Bhau began his correspondence work. After a short while, Baba came back from his bungalow and went straight to the must's room. Bhau followed and was taken aback by the scene. The must had moved his bowels, excreting in the bed, and was filthy. Baba looked at Bhau, did not say anything. Instead, he himself cleaned the bed and the must, and Bhau felt ashamed for not being more attentive. From that day onward, Bhau dedicated himself to the care of the must, but daily Baba would find some fault with him. The must would pass stools 4 or 5 times a day, and each time Bhau had to clean up and wash his clothes and sheets. Baba would come abruptly to the must room at any time and would always take Bhau to task for some minor fault. When Bhau would bring the must his food, the must would tell him, "You eat it, you eat it." It took Bhau a long time to feed the must. Only with great difficulty would he be prevailed upon to eat something. One day the must was clean and everything in the room was absolutely spotless. Bhau thought Baba would be pleased at last. But no sooner had Baba come than the musk urinated in the bed, and Baba reproved Bhau. Usually, the musk had a peaceful temperament, but one night he slapped Bhau soundly. Bhau was convinced the musk must be truly mad. The next day, Baba asked Bhau, "Speak the truth. What do you think of Nanga Baba?" Bhau replied, "I have no idea about musk, but this one seems to be quite mad." "How did you pass your MA degree?" Baba asked. "Did you have to bribe someone? You have no sense at all. You say he is mad, but I tell you, he is a must, an advanced soul. He is not mad. You are mad." Avtar Meher Baba ki jai.
Powerful story, Roshani. Powerful story.
Yes.
It's so
Powerful story about
interesting 'cause
obedience.
it's interesting because Bao had all these advanced degrees in different subjects, and Baba, took him to task there. Yeah.
The water of love.
That's an order.
Havovi auntie, you are silent again. You need to unmute.
Unmuted now. But darling, thank you. I enjoyed being on your program. I need to go. And thank you. I enjoyed being on it. Baba bless you all. And Jai Baba Diwali Mubarak.
Thank you.
Jai
Thank
Baba.
you so much.
Jai
Thank you
Baba.
for your
Baba.
stories and sharing this space of beloved Baba's love.
Jai Baba, darling. Good luck.
Jai
Jai
Baba.
Baba.
Thank you. Happy
All
Diwali.
Jai. Avtar Meher
Meher Baba ki jai.
Yeah, I've
Bye
been
bye.
waiting, Roshani. I knew we were overdue for a course on humor because there's so much humor. We've just tapped the surface, just the surface.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And these 10 windows on the screen are also the creation of his humor.
Right.
All
I have
right.
I have a request. Can we sing a couple of rounds of Happy Birthday to Betty?
Yes, sure.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday to you.
Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday. Happy
Betty.
birthday. Happy
Happy
birthday to you.
you. Happy
From
birthday.
old Baba lovers and you.
Love you.
From
Happy
old Baba lovers and you.
Baba loves you,
May
Betty.
good luck
Happy
be with
birthday to
you
you,
and his
Betty.
Nazar
Baba loves you,
too.
beloved of Baba Betty.
Thank
Happy
you, Baba.
birthday
Day to
You.
you. Greatest. Thank you all. Thank you, Baba. Now Irma's got a hand up. Let's make sure
Yes,
we
Irma.
yeah.
I'm going to share with you my favorite birthday song, Betty.
Oh yay.
This is your birthday song. It isn't very long.
Irma, that is quite a beautiful, humorous song. That's the
Encore.
shortest humorous song I've ever heard in my life. That's beautiful. Wow. Jai
You know,
Good
Baba.
one.
Irma is the comedy queen. She sends out jokes and can I make a plug? Can I put them on your list, or can I offer to be, or is that
email them to me.
I will.
Yeah.
Does everybody here want to be on her? I tell you, it's a treasure. Okay,
Well,
everybody.
You can share my ID.
Okay, I got Roshani. Okay, everybody here. Oh,
So
Marilyn.
Yeah.
I received jokes from my school friend in Ottawa, from Doug Cox in Myrtle Beach, from Alan Talbot in California, and maybe a few other people. So they just come all around, and what's funny, I share.
Oh, and I'll tell you, they're good. They're good.
And now, since we are on the time of closing, last one on time. What is the time when the clock strikes 13?
13.
Time to get a new clock.
You clocks reincarnate.
Or reincarnate, there's another small one. So an old man is sitting with a young guy and he's telling, please don't believe in all this reincarnation and all this jack that people tell you, okay? None of this crap exists. So the young guy looks up at him and says, you are right. When I was your age last time, I didn't believe in the same.
That's good.
So should we close with a Meher Dhun?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
We could do Meher Baba, 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 Meher Baba,
Meher Baba,
Meher
Meher
Baba,
Baba,
Meher
Meher
Baba,
Baba,
Meher Baba,
Baba,
Meher Baba, Meher
Meher
Baba,
Baba,
Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Meher Baba. Avatar
Meher
Meher Baba
Baba,
ki jai.
Baba,
Avatar Meher, everybody
Avatar Meher
stand up.
Baba ki jai.
Avatar Meher Baba ki
Meher
Baba
Baba
jai.
ki
ki
And we
jai.
can have 1 minute of silence in Baba's love for everything that's happening in the world. And may his nazar be upon everyone and all of creation.
Roshani.
Everyone unmute. We'll repeat 3 times. Avatar Meher Baba
Baba
ki jai.
Meher Baba ki jai.
Avatar Meher
Baba
Baba
ki
ki
jai.
Avatar
jai.
Meher Baba ki jai.
Avatar Meher
ki
Avatar
Baba
Meher
ki
Baba
jai.
ki jai.
Baba Kudaji.
Thank you, Baba. Baba Khodaiji, yes. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, everyone, for all your lovely shares and sharing this space of love.
Irma, show the rickshaw again. It's so cute.
Oh,
Oh, I
cute.
know what it was.
Did you get that when you were in India?
Say,
Oh,
I can't read it.
Did you make it, Irma?
What is
okay,
this?
I'm spotlighting Irma. You could share it again.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So look who's in here.
Oh.
So we were
Is he
in
traveling from MPR to the Samadhi?
let's see. We were on the pilgrimage with Don Stevens in 2010, and we were in Aurangabad. And all of a sudden it started to rain like crazy. We're hiding under a tree, but it wasn't enough. All right. So then we went into a little gift shop, and pretty soon the little gift shop was totally filled with people hiding from the rain, and people were buying things. All right. And Digambar was there and Narendra Prasad, and they were helping us, right? But this was the one thing that I bought. Right? This is the one thing I bought, and I put
You got Bob.
Baba's picture.
What are the
there.
words? Is that Hindi or
Well, it's a picture. I don't know what it says.
no?
It's
Oh,
yes, it is. It's Hindi.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know what it says.
Ah,
Maybe
there's
somebody says. I'm just looking at
Yeah. It's
the
dark,
picture of Baba.
darling. Oh my God.
It is.
That's-
But the wheels go round and round.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
We just fell in love with him.
So adorable.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay, you guys are gonna all be on
Yeah.
Irma's list. You'll be glad you're on.
Thank
Uh-huh.
you so much, and
Jai Baba.
day and good night to us in Baba's love.
Jai
Jai
Thank
Baba.
Dear Baba, have a wonderful, humorous, and heartily laughable Sunday with Baba.
Yes, absolutely. Jai Baba.
Jai Meher Baba.
Hey, Baba. Thank you. Thank you.
Betty, can we end, or is there another program to leave the room open?
No, go ahead and end. Go ahead.
Okay.
All right.
right.
Thanks,
Okay.
Roshan. Okay.
Bye.
Jai Baba, Jeff.
Hey, Baba Roshani.
Thank
Baba.
you.
Thank you.
I miss the 7 realities Saturdays.
Me too. Me too.
I pray Baba starts them again sometime soon.
Baba.
Better to live them.
Jai Baba. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai